All right, we are on. Good morning.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. We are well into day two. We started probably about 20, 25 minutes later, a little further than where we stayed. So got started at about 6:25 this morning. We're a little over 9 miles in. We are somewhere in Lorraine. Oh, let me back up just a second. You may be able to see from there back to Lake Erie. I don't know if you can see that shot. So we are on day two of our journey to continue to get attention for Ascension and walk 312 miles from Cleveland, Ohio back to Ascension in Gary, Indiana. Uh, Probably, let me see, shortly, let's just say, because I can't really see the time. The scholars and staff will be getting their school day started. So, good morning to ALCS as you start your school day and God's blessings on the day. Uh, this morning, and you'll see it later today, our morning devotion is taken from Matthew chapter 7, verse 7. Ask and it will be given to you. Knock and the door will be open. Seek and ye shall find. And just on our journey, I just want to continue to explore the idea, the notion of not giving up too soon. And what I enjoy about this journey and just what God continues to ground in my spirit, and I hope that He begins, if He has not already, ground for you. Ask, seek, knock, all of those are present tense. That means current, active. Like we got to be actively participating in asking, seeking, and knocking. Action verbs. And it's just a reminder that when you are praying to God, not to give up. And I think we just have a tendency to get discouraged so early because we've conditioned ourselves to be an instant society. And while there are many benefits to being able to possibly pop something in the microwave, just think about all of the modern conveniences that have lulled us into complacency and not being active. And we've even made the translation to our faith. We expect to just rub on our prayer and God show up because we stuck him in the microwave and we expect him to be our genie. We no longer even have to turn on the radio. You probably speak to first Alexa, and if she doesn't hear you, you start yelling at her and yelling at Siri, turn the TV on, turn the radio on. They even, before that, you got the clapper. You didn't even have to turn your lights on or off. You don't have to get up to turn on the TV anymore. You don't even have to push the button. You can speak into the remote and it changes. And so we just have this demand, impatient mentality. But if you think about asking, seeking, and knocking, it always reminds me of childhood. And just so you know, I'm going to stay in the grass. I'm going to pause right quick. We lose the shoulder altogether. We went from sidewalk to absolutely no shoulder at all. So I'm over in the grass just so that you can see, not near the street, but just so that you have an idea of what's going on the journey. But back to our devotional verse for the day. It always takes me back to childhood and hide and go seek. You didn't just give up because you didn't find the person or the people the first time. You kept actively looking until you found them so that you could move on for somebody else to count. I wonder how often we give up on God because we didn't give it the first time. We didn't find it the first time. And so we just throw in the towel and give up. But what we have to remember, what would be beneficial for our spiritual journey if we remember that God works through means, God works through people. And whether we want to acknowledge it or not, we are all sinners. And so your blessing is coming through another sinner. Could you imagine your blessing is connected to me? How much God has to move through Brian Reeves in order to get me to understand or see that I am to be the blessing for you. And so those kind of things take time, and we've got to be willing to hold on and pray. And especially if we are bold enough to have prayers that are large. You've got to be willing to hold on for just as long or hard as your prayer is. And so the question also becomes, are you an active participant in your prayer life? Did you fill out the paperwork? Did you make the phone call? Did you follow up? I cannot tell you the number of times that I have reached out to somebody or something, and it has conditioned me that I now take name, number, date of the time that I spoke with someone, and you will call back. They either don't have a note that you even called, or they have a note that you called and the person you were speaking to didn't put notes in the phone, or in the message for other people to see. And so it's not that God wasn't listening, people just didn't follow through. And so you gave up and thought it was over. And so are you still actively asking, seeking, and knocking till your breakthrough comes? Yes, dear friends, again, I want to remind us, it is a journey, not a destination. People are going to forget. They're going to let you down. They're going to make promises. You're going to forget. You're going to let yourself down. But we got to keep asking. We got to keep seeking. Got to keep knocking. We got to be persistent in this journey. And so I am just, encouraged this morning that you are a part of this journey. And I just want to continue to encourage our scholars to keep asking, to keep seeking, to keep knocking, and to just hang in there. I know we believe that things are supposed to happen instantly. We don't even have to roll down our car windows anymore. But there is a process that God wants to use to grow us and mature us and stretch us in our faith. And so I am just asking you today to prayerfully consider Matthew chapter 7, verse 7 in your own life. What ways is God inviting you, calling you to be present in your prayer life, to be active in your prayer life? Are there some steps you tried to skip? I know it's kind of windy right now. Are there some steps that you tried to skip, some things you wanted to overlook, or you just kind of lost your energy? The invitation today is to reconnect, to stay present, to evaluate that, and know that God has not forgotten. And that as long as there is breath in your body, God still is working in your favor and on your behalf. Don't throw in the towel. I know you have a tendency to feel defeated or discouraged or think that it wasn't worth it, and maybe you did something wrong and you're being punished. Not the case at all. God is still working it out on your behalf. Keep praying, keep working. The breakthrough is coming. Not in your time, not in my time, in God's time. And we just hold on and persevere and develop that spiritual endurance and character so that we can receive the answer to the prayers that we are submitting before God. It's on its way. It is not over. You did not lose. You're not being punished. God is still working. Miss Lisa, before we go to questions, can you do me a favor and pull up the King Has One More Move? I just want to encourage you that don't give up in this season of your life. Keep working. Keep allowing God to use you, and know that it is still working on your behalf.
All right, we are going to try this. I'm going to mute you for a second. Okay. Now, hopefully this should work. 1 second.
There's a picture in the museum in the Louvre. I don't know how many of you have ever been there. The picture is called and there's a guy sitting on the other side. And the guy sitting on the other side has his hand in desperation. And as they were taking a tour through the Louvre, there had been a group of athletes, and particularly world champions, that were being given a special tour. And in the tour was the world champion. And he comes walking by the picture. And the guy's explaining to him this is a picture of of somebody who lost. And so the group moved on to the next picture to see something. But the world chess champion, he stayed there. And he just kept looking at the picture. And soon they noticed that he was not with the group. And so the tour guide came back and said, we've moved on. Are you coming? He said, well, I've been looking at this picture. And the guy said, yeah. He said, it's called Checkmate. The devil's laughing, the man's lost. And he said, yeah. He said, I've been noticing that. He said, but while I've been standing here, I kept looking at the picture. I got a problem. And he said, well, what do you mean? He said, well, you know, I'm a world champion chess player. And I spent my life playing chess. And normal people don't always see what a world champion chess player sees. He says, but when y'all walked off, I looked at the devil laughing, and I looked at the man in desperation. But he said, I noticed something on the chessboard. He said, either they're going to have to change the painting, or they're going to have to change the name. And the guy said, well, why are they going to have to do that? He said, well, you know, I'm a world champion chess player. And he said, when I observed the board, I found out the king still had one more move. I come to tell somebody today, you believe you've been cornered. You believe everything is gone and nothing has got any hope. But the king still has one more move. In the fullness of time, God sent his son. I dare you to declare it. The king has one more move. He has one more move over my finances. He has one more move over my marriage. He has one more move over my kids. It is not over.
So I hope that video and our verse for today encourages somebody, encourages one of our scholars, encourages one of our staff, encourages all of you that are journeying with us on this walk. I know it gets overwhelming to ask, to seek, and to knock, and you just want to give up and you feel defeated. There's another move. There's another move. The king has one more move on your behalf. God has one more move on your behalf. It's not over. There's still breath in your body. There's still that moment for you to receive the answer to your prayers. Don't give up before the answer arrives. Hang in there. It is a great day. You have received God's daily bread today. Make the most of it. Don't allow the bread to go stale. Don't allow it to turn into day old bread. Make the most of the gift that God has given you in this very moment and allow him to show you. If you remain persistent in your prayer, the answer is coming. I know that it seems like it's a long time in coming, but it is still coming. He is working it out on your behalf. Keep your endurance, keep your perseverance, and keep your faith. It will not disappoint you. God will not disappoint you. He has not failed you. He has not forgotten you. It is still working out for his glory. He's got to put you in a position. He's got to put me in a position where we have no doubt that everybody around us will have no doubt that God alone did it. That all you will be able to do is give glory to God and point people to God. Continue, and thank you for being a part of this journey. I hope you are having an amazing morning, and God's blessings to each and every one of you.
John Life is on and says, may you walk safely on your journey with great weather.
Good morning, and thank you. And speaking of weather, I see some of you have been having your weather prayers going on. Thursday, we discovered that it is supposed to be 80 and sunny. So we have to make sure we had the proper clothes to meet the grace that we will find on Thursday, 80 degrees. So we will definitely be exploring all of God's goodness as far as the weather. For those of you following, we have now received a little more shoulder. So we'll navigate between gravel grass and shoulder. I don't know if you saw that shot. Let me make sure you can see.
So how far have you walked so far this morning?
We are probably, at this point, when I checked, we were slightly over 9 miles. I don't know if you heard, but we just heard Terry honk. So we're probably somewhere between 11 and 12 miles at this point. Because we usually are he goes about 2 to 3 miles ahead to make sure there's nothing coming up, or I need to be aware of something, or stop for a little while.
How was your Chipotle last night?
Chipotle was okay. The burrito was amazing. Chips were a little stale, but
Oh dear.
the burrito was on point. So yeah, we're on day 2. A little excited. Got a little more shoulder going on here. I don't know if you all can see that. But the shoulder is getting a little wider, which is a great thing. So yeah, day 2 on our journey back to ALCS.
Are you finding a lot of stuff along the road?
Not as of yet, no. And I contribute that to, we really are still in a residential kind of community, sidewalks and those kind of things. So as we get closer to the back roads of Route 6, that'll start to pick up. Or at least that was the experience last year. So I hope everyone is having a wonderful Skippy morning.
Funny you should mention that. Nick Coster is on and says, what's worse, stale chips or smooth Jif peanut butter?
Oh, definitely smooth just peanut butter. You can at least pull a little salt off of the chip and get the crunch, even if it's a stale crunch. So yeah, I would take that over smooth Jif any day.
Don't listen to him.
I'm just going to take a few minutes so you can see on the journey the view that I have. And the reason I'm doing this is because it is very clear that it is, the day is changing. You're starting to see more cars and more traffic, and now we're getting some shoulder, going to lose some shoulder as we go under this bridge, but just so that you all can see. Navigating, and you'll see I'm out here just because I don't see any cars coming. You'll see the difference, hopefully, of the shoulder about to narrow, and you'll go by this guardrail, so we got to pay a lot of attention as to what's coming. And I don't know if you'll recall, but this is a good spot to show you. Last year when we streamed, I was actually on the other side of the street over there at that tree. And I remember that because the Lorraine Police Department came up and just kind of encouraged us. They heard we were there, making sure we were okay, and we were safe. So that was very cool at that point. If I'm completely honest, we probably didn't park the best way either, but just very cool to see them reach out and give the love and make sure that the walk was going fine. Those become the things that become encouraging, because you know that people are talking and they had been radioing in to let folks know. So we are now under the bridge between the guardrail and the shoulder. And I am going to stop and get up so that you all can see. So yes, this is not just a walk for the sake of walking for good old-fashioned heart health. There's a lot that goes into making sure that you stay safe and make it back to the scholars and staff at ALCS and to the family at Emmanuel. We'll stop again. And I don't know if you got to see, but that truck was kind enough to pull over and give a wave. Now, I can tell you, I will in a quick second stop talking to you because I've got to navigate crossing. I want to see if you can see. I've got to cross this intersection, get across here, over to by those trees. So I'm not going to talk. We'll just have to hold on so we can get over to the other stretch of shoulder and do that safely. I don't know if you are not, you should be able to, hold on. Now we just gained a whole lot shoulder crossing over. So we are always grateful for that. Are there any questions so far?
Whoa, that was interesting. Tanya and the Mathers say, praying for a safe journey. And Leslie Thompson is on and says, good morning, Pastor. What songs, hymns do you hum or sing as you walk?
Two songs are my jam. And actually, you reminded me. Just a second. I couldn't do it fast enough. I wanted to try to show you that shot so you can feel the impact of the truck blowing by, but I couldn't turn the phone fast enough. So I actually want to do a shout out to the kids, the scholars, and Miss Hightower at Ascension, because last week I was doing a tour of the building and they were rehearsing a song, which is my jam, Emmanuel by Norman Hutchinson. So that song constantly stays in my head, and it's actually how I start each morning. The other song is Aretha Franklin, Mary Don't You Weep, and then finally Tasha Cobb's You Know My Name. So those three songs just mentally get a lot of space in my journey that I hum and sing. But none of that really gets to happen with me listening, because other than screaming with you all, as you have probably seen, it's not the best idea, especially when you have long stretches of no shoulder like this. You just spend a lot of time thanking God, as my father likes to say, for that intersection of grace and mercy. And I also steal from my mother quite a bit that God has given me a portion of my right mind, and I thank Him for the portion of the right mind to pay attention on this journey. So those would be the songs.
Angela Granberry is on and says, "Good morning, Sonny."
Good morning.
So as we were watching you and you were talking about being on the other side by that tree back by the bridge, it just occurred to me that to us, you're taking the same journey, but you're actually on the other side of the road. So it's actually...
Hold on. That was... So I don't know if they have started talking already. That truck actually started to get over, and I could see the first truck pick up his radio. So I don't know if they started talking, but those are the things that you see. God's mercy. You see God answering, that you can tell as people start to communicate that somebody is walking on the road. You start to move over and you start getting more waves. Later in the journey, as happened last year, you probably start to get more people hungry and caused. But to what you were asking, I do actually go between both sides of the road. The safest is to be walking in the opposite direction of the traffic. But if I am honest with you, just to create some variance in the journey, you do go to the other side. Now, I will also tell you, just so that you understand the magnitude of this journey and being comfortable and trusting, full disclosure, the other side of the road actually happened to be the restroom. So there are things like that. And you try to find those safe locations where you can keep walking. Let's put it that way. There are not always stretches where you find places to go in and use the restroom. And for those saints of Emmanuel who were kind enough to help with the shoes on the table, you know that bathroom supplies are a part of the request. And that is a part of the journey as well. And so you have to take those things into consideration. And even for those of you just new to this journey, the question has been asked, in the previous year, where do you eat? You cannot always guarantee that. You are in stretches of Studio Route 6, which we forgot to mention again as we started. Dear friends, we are back live on Studio Route 6. You are not always in a place to eat, go to the bathroom, see people, and so you have to prepare mentally for that as well. But as I'm going to try to show you, you will see Route 6 is starting to expand and open up. So traffic is about to pick up, especially as we get later in the day.
You were mentioning you were going through like residential area. Do you have any people come out of their houses and say hello?
No. Not at this point.
Leslie wants to know, has anyone stopped to greet you so far?
Has anyone done what?
Stopped to greet you?
No, not at this point. No greeters. You just see the occasional wave as people are driving by or pulling over. So just as we are journeying today, it is just a reminder, it is day 2 of our 312-mile journey back to ALCS. I hope you get a chance to check out Matthew chapter 7, verse 7. And just remember, the King still has one more move. Don't give up. Don't stop. Be encouraged. It is still a great day. It's still a great morning. And I pray that the scholars and staff at ALCS have a great day as well, and that each and every one of you, a part of this journey, has an amazing day in the Lord. Please go to Walk312.com, donate, vote for Skippy, buy your t-shirts, tank tops. We'll need t-shirts on Thursday, I believe. We're supposed to be in the 80s. And we'll be in Larry's country. We'll be going through Sandusky. So we'll be near Cedar Point. And we'll enjoy all of God's weather from snow to sun and everything in between. Lisa, are there any more questions at this point?
I'm doing a quick check.
Okay.
Not that I see.
All right. I'm going to continue to try to use a portion of my right mind and navigate what is going on here in Lorraine. And I will check in with you all. We will see you at 11. God's blessings to you till then, and have a wonderful day. I am the walking pastor. I'm back. 312 more miles. Let's go.
Last year, we walked from Gary, Indiana to Cleveland, Ohio. This year, we're reversing the route. The goal is the same, $3,120,000, one step at a time. Cleveland is where my ministry journey began. Gary is the home of Ascension Lutheran Christian School, whose scholars we are walking to support. Last year, we asked and you responded. Because of your generosity, we were able to fund academic support, and we have seen test scores rise. We were also able to address much needed building repairs. Seeing where God took us last year, the journey for these scholars continues this year. We walk Monday, April 17th at 5 a.m. Follow us live at 8, 11, and 3. At 3:12 every day, we will gather for prayer. At Walk312.com, you will be able to not only follow the journey, you will be able to donate and purchase your walking gear. All proceeds go to support the scholars at Ascension Lutheran Christian School. Let's go.
All right, just a quick reminder that, let me get this off here. Just a quick reminder that on April 29th, Pastor Brian will be finishing up the walk. And so anyone who would like to join us for that last mile, we are going to meet at Ascension at 12:30 to walk to the corner of 49th and Broadway. And we will meet him there and walk the last mile with him. If you are interested in doing that, please let me know, or you can sign up on Walk312.com. Please let us know so that we can make sure that we have enough food, because we're going to have a little celebration afterwards. And you don't have to walk the last mile. You can come up 49th as far as you want to, or even just hang out at Ascension and cheer him on the last mile. So, all right, God's blessings. We will be back at 11 o'clock. And then again at 3, that's all Central Time. So please join us. Please don't forget to share and to let people know what's going on. Sorry, I've got this in my ear and I've got an echo of myself. And it's really hard to talk like that. So please share this video. Please share with people what we're doing and have them join us. So God's blessings. We'll see you at 11.